All right, let's dive in. We all hear about AI changing the world, right? But what about the world of science? Is it really the magic bullet for discovery we're all hoping for, or is it creating a whole new set of problems? Well, a huge study in Nature Human Behavior just dropped some serious data on this, and we're going to break down what it all means for the future of research. So, this is the big question, isn't it? Is AI this rising tide that's lifting all scientific boats equally, or is the reality, well, a lot more complicated? The data suggests it's a story of both incredible progress and some really surprising inequality. Let's start with the good news, the boom. So first up, let's talk about the sheer scale of this thing. The data is super clear on this. We are not just seeing some gradual shift. No, we are right in the middle of an absolute explosion of AI-powered research.
For the longest time, AI was kind of just there in science, chugging along steadily. But then, right around 2015, everything changed. It was like a switch flipped. Thanks to breakthroughs in things like deep learning and just massive amounts of data becoming available, AI use didn't just grow, it absolutely skyrocketed. And not just in one or two fields, but across the board. It marked a completely new era for how we do science.
And look, this boom wasn't just about churning out more papers. It was about impact. The study found that a research paper using AI is 1.8 times more likely to become what's called a hit paper. The kind of research that really truly pushes a field forward.
So, what exactly is a hit paper? Well, it's a paper that ends up in the top 5% for citations in its specific field for the year it was published. In other words, these are the big ones. They're not just any old publication. They're the breakthroughs that everyone else reads, cites, and builds their own work on top of. They literally define what's next.
And get this. This isn't just a thing for computer scientists. Not even close. This AI advantage was found in 18 out of the 19 major scientific fields they looked at. We're talking biology, medicine, economics, physics, you name it. It's popping up everywhere, becoming this fundamental tool for discovery. Okay, but all this explosive growth, it's created a huge problem. The demand for AI skills out in the real world, in the lab, is growing way, way faster than our universities can actually teach them. And that's creating a massive skills gap.
It's pretty simple, but really profound disconnect. You've got AI use in research just taking off like a rocket, growing exponentially. And then you have university courses, which have not kept up at all. So you have this fundamental mismatch between the tools scientists need to be using and what the next generation of scientists is actually being taught.
So what happens? If you're, say, a biologist who desperately needs to use AI for your work, but you never learned it in school, what do? Well, the data shows a really clear answer. You team up, you collaborate. To bridge that knowledge gap, scientists are forming more and more cross-disciplinary teams. And the result is this major shift in how science actually gets done. You can see here, about a third of all AI-related papers that are outside of computer science are now collaborations between a domain expert, like a physicist or a chemist, and an AI specialist. Teamwork is basically becoming the essential ingredient to make this all work.
And this is where the story takes a really critical and, frankly, pretty troubling turn. Because while AI is creating these incredible opportunities, this research reveals that the benefits, well, they are not being shared equally. Not at all.
The data points to a really worrying pattern. The study found this strong negative correlation. Basically, the more women there are in a particular scientific field, the less that field tends to benefit from AI. This suggests that the tools, the funding, the focus, it might be flowing disproportionately to historically male-dominated areas, making an existing gap even wider.
But the disparity gets even more stark when we look at race. The study used a metric called an AI benefit score to measure that citation boost we talked about. And what they found was a staggering gap. On average, the fields where Black scientists are most represented see 78 to 86% less benefit from AI than the fields of their white and Asian colleagues. I mean, let's be clear, this isn't a small gap. This is a massive structural disadvantage.
And the authors of the study, they don't mince words. They say it right here. As AI plays more important roles in accelerating science, it may exacerbate existing disparities in science. So instead of being this great equalizer, AI could actually make the scientific world even more unequal if we're not actively working to stop it. So, what we're looking at here is a classic double-edged sword. On one side, you have the incredible promise of AI to speed up discovery like nothing we've ever seen before. But on the other, you have the peril of making old, deep divisions even worse. So, what do we do now? Let's just quickly recap the big takeaways. First, the boom. AI is transforming science, no question, and it's leading to more high-impact work. Second, the gap. Our education system is seriously behind the curve, and that's forcing scientists to team up just to keep pace. And third, and most importantly, the disparity. These amazing benefits are not being shared fairly, and that threatens to widen the existing gender and racial gaps in science.
And that really leaves us with this final, essential question. We know AI can push science forward at an incredible speed, but the challenge now, for policymakers, for universities, for all of us, is to figure out how we build a future where this incredibly powerful tool accelerates science for everyone.